guys, I'm Tammy and welcome back to my channel. I am wearing a blanket today because I am really cold, but I came across this image on Pinterest the other day and I really want to recreate this skirt. I do want to recreate the top, but I'm not gonna lie, I probably won't do that today. If you want to see me recreate that top, let me know. I fell in love with how they've used a gingham fabric to make such a cute maxi skirt, and I realized I have this really cute pink gingham which would be such a nice dupe to make this. I do obviously love the fact they use orange. That works really well for summer, but I thought going ahead with the Barbie theme at the moment that's going around, pink gingham would make such a cute version of that skirt. So the one that I'm going to use has these really big squares. I think they're about 1 inch wide, so they're really nice and big from a distance. And then for the pattern, I'm going to use my Amelia skirt pattern, which you can find in the description box below. But let's get into cutting out the fabric. So I have all my pieces cut out. This is the main skirt fabric and then this is the waistband. I always forget how much I love working with gingham fabric. This is actually a cotton and it's just really easy to sew with, and also the print looks super cute. If you've never sewn a elastic skirt before, it's really easy to make, and this pattern that I have is really simple and very beginner friendly. The first thing we do with this pattern is actually sew the waistband, and you basically just place both of the waistband pieces together and sew down the side seams and turn it right side out. It's really easy to make, and I personally love having skirts with a waistband detail. I think it looks a bit more chic when you're feeding the elastic through. I am now thinking as well, I have got some scrap fabric and it would be really cute to make a top. Maybe I'll see how much time I have by the end of the day. If not, I might make that in a future video. So I've just sewn the waistband and it looks like that. I honestly love sewing with cotton fabric because it makes such a nice crisp edge when you're ironing it. And that's basically the waistband done for this point. So we're now going to sew the first tier skirt sections. If you're wondering what the measurements are for this skirt, I do have a sewing pattern which shares all the measurements for each size, as well as actual pattern pieces that you can put on fabric instead. I do obviously love making free DIY pattern videos, but also it would be nice if you could support my own sewing patterns because that's how I pay my bills. We're basically going to place both pieces on top of each other with right sides facing and sew the side seam. So this is what the first tier skirt should look like. Now's the fun part. We're going to place the waistband over the waist. So you literally align the side seams of the waistband to the side seams of the skirt with right sides facing, and you pin along the entire edge and leave a little gap at the back so we can insert elastic. So I've just pinned both side seams with the waistband and the skirt together, and that's what it looks like. I'm just going to pin the rest of it and make sure I leave a gap at the back. So we have a bit of a dilemma. You're meant to use 1 inch wide elastic to go into the waistband, but I've completely run out. This is all I have left and it's not big enough to go around my waist. So what I am gonna do is I have this 1/4 inch wide elastic. It's basically a lot smaller, it looks like that. But I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get a pen and actually draw markings onto the waistband. So I'm going to make like 2 channels all the way down the waistband and then insert the smaller elastic into that. I've not tried that before, but I think that should hopefully work. I'm going to use a pen to do little markings first and then sew that on the sewing machine and then put the elastic in. But let's see what this turns out to be like, because I do normally use the bigger elastic, but I have run out, so that's really annoying. But hopefully this cute little small one will work. Okay, so this is confusing and I'm not sure if this is going to work, but hopefully it does. But I've just sewn 2 rows of stitching, which you can see, all along the 2 top edges. So these 2 lines I've just sewn, but I've left a gap where the gap in the waistband is on this second line, so I can insert the elastic into this and then do the bottom one after that. There is a little gap where I can put my finger, and I'm going to cut the elastic to my size. So I have my 2 pieces of elastic. You just want to insert a safety pin into one end, and that will just make it really easy to feed it through the casing. If you've never sewn an elastic skirt before, it's honestly so easy to wear and also really easy to sew. If your weight fluctuates as well and you want to wear clothing that's really comfortable and that fits you naturally, anything with an elastic skirt is really useful and comfortable to wear. So where the gap is, I'm going to put the elastic into it. So both of the elastic ends are out now at the casing section that I left open. I'm just going to sew this at the sewing machine to close the elastic together. So now one elastic is fully inside the casing and it is looking really, really cute. I just need to sew the other line and then put the second piece of elastic through that to finish off the waistband. But I actually really like this method. I didn't think it would work, but it makes a really nice elastic waistband detail because there's 2 pieces of elastic. What this turns out like, this looks way better than I thought it would, especially with the 2 casing detail. But let's get sewing the second elastic casing. So I'm just inserting the elastic casing all the way around the waist edge. This one is a bit more tricky because there's already gathers in the waistband from the previous casing, but it's just taking some time. Honestly, no one ever tells you how time consuming sewing is. Like, it takes up so much time to just make one garment, and I feel like I didn't know that going into sewing. I've been sewing now for maybe 5 years and I can definitely see my skills get better. Obviously I've improved so much since I first started. One thing that still gets me is how long it takes to make certain pieces. But honestly, if you've never tried sewing an elastic waistband, I definitely recommend it. I never used to wear elastic clothing and now I live in it. I think it's because COVID, when I first started working from home, I just wore jogging bottoms all the time. And now I honestly can't live in non-elasticated trousers. Okay, so I've just finished sewing the elastic casing on the waistband and it looks really, really cute. I'm not gonna lie, this added an extra hour to making this, but I am really happy with the result. I actually prefer the elastic casing like this. I think it makes a really cute detail. Now that's done, I'm gonna sew the second tier skirt to this one. But can we just appreciate how cute this turned out? Look at that detail. I did not think that was going to work. So yeah, if you ever run out of 1 inch wide elastic and you have a 1/4 inch wide, just make 2 casings and put that into the waistband because it actually turned out really cute. So I've just sewn the 2 tier skirt pieces together and it looks like this. It's basically a really big rectangle that is now like a big loop because you've sewn the side seams together. And what I've gone ahead and done is sewn a line of gathering stitches all the way around the top section of the skirt. And what that basically means is when you sew a line of stitching all the way around and that has a higher stitch length, and you basically leave 2 long thread tails at the end of each section of the stitch, so one at the start and one at the end, because then you're able to gather the fabric when you pull the threads. I'll show you how you do that, but what I'm going to do now is just pull the threads on all 4 corners to gather the fabric to be the same circumference as the first tier skirt. Sounds complicated, but it really isn't. So I've just pinned the skirt pieces together, and this is what it is looking like. So this is this bit, and then if you lift it up, you can see the skirt waist is underneath that over on this section, and then this section is actually just the hem of the first tier skirt. It sounds complicated, but once you get the hang of it, it's actually really easy. So now that's now evenly gathered and pinned down, I'm just going to sew this at the sewing machine and then finish off with an overlocker. Look how cute this skirt is looking. So this is what the skirt looks like now that two tiers are together. To finish off the skirt, we basically just have to do the exact same steps we did for the second tier skirt and attach it to the bottom. These are the two rectangles that are going to form the third tier skirt. As you can see, they're really wide because they have to be wider than the circumference of the second tier. And it is a really long piece of fabric, but we're going to repeat the exact same steps. So we're going to sew the side seams together and gather the top to the bottom of the skirt tier piece, and then we just hem the bottom of this piece, and that's going to be the bottom of the skirt. It looks massive, but honestly when you put it on the skirt it will gather down and it makes a really lovely swishy bottom for the skirt. So I've just finished the skirt and it looks really cute. This is the full length. It's a really cute maxi length style, and I honestly love the waistband detail with the two casings. I honestly love how that turned out. I thought it was going to kind of ruin the whole thing. It is such a vibe. Let me show you what it looks like on, because I know you guys are going to love this. I hope you enjoyed seeing how I sewed this DIY maxi skirt. I honestly love how this turned out, and in the gingham fabric it is so cute. Obviously the original inspiration picture also had this really cute top. I don't want to sew that today because it's already 5 o'clock and this has taken me like 3 hours to make, so I am tired. But if you want to see me make that top, write a comment down below, because I want to make it but I'm not sure if it's gonna work, and I obviously have to draft that myself because I can't find a pattern that's like that. But it might be fun to make, so let me know. If you want to make this skirt, you can find the Amelia pattern on my website. I'll leave a link down in the description box below. It's super easy to make. Just make sure you have some elastic for the waistband. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one.